I can't listen anymore. Can I set you guys
But they're not
straight just a little
science.
bit? Because I fucking worked there. You know,
Go.
what I have plenty of footage of us being able to see across the same span. So it's not about whether or not you can see across the way. And what happens is, as the heat of the day, it changes. So these guys were seeing each other in the morning. Then the chopper shows up an hour and a half later, and they can't get the shot.
Thank you.
So they know they can see across the lake, but they can't get the shot because it's now an hour and a half later. There's heat hanging off of it. And I've been there enough to know that that's exactly what happened.
Thank you.
Okay.
And when we went to go test it, Lanolин's gone. Yeah. When we went to go test, we did it with balloon, and they lied. It's same thing. We could see it on the ground. We have evidence, video. I could show you video of us spotting the balloons on the ground. Now, let's get real, though, about this distance and what I call the ground. Most of the 10-mile stuff isn't really all that accurate because the Sagita, I think it's called, in the middle is only 16 feet. And we're looking from a roadside.
Dan, 1 second. Redding, you're still sharing your screen, bro. Sorry, Dan. Redding, you're still sharing your screen, bro.
And that is 16 feet. So fortunately, we moved on to both 17 and 27 miles at Salton Sea because you could dispute everything. In general, regardless of where we've been working, as flat earthers, we've been assuming the 6-foot height. And most observations are from a roadside or a pier closer to 20 feet. So unfortunately, the horizon we expect at 2 and 3 miles is naturally at 7 and 8 miles, and it's more dramatic. So that's where most of us have been really wrong. And I mean, I have so much experience in all this stuff. Hey, Democ, you know what I was thinking today? Cornbread. And it is funny. So, I mean, if anybody has any real questions about what it's like to go out there and do this stuff,
did they lie about other things? That's what I want to know. Are there other?
Well, that's a great thing. So we were talking about Jaron, and I have footage I could show you right now of Jaron talking to the Nat Geo guys last year, and they doubled down, claiming that they have footage of the stripes disappearing one at a time. And they don't, and they haven't shown it. They didn't show it in their own documentary, and they won't show it now. And I've been trying to push, nobody cares. Nobody realizes that the claim is false, and, with the flag and that, so it's 2 times. It's Discovery and Nat Geo both went with the narrative. And unfortunately, nobody cares what you see if the narrative is carried out.
Yeah, like if the Earth's flat or if the Earth's round, PBS cannot make a documentary that said the Earth's flat. Regardless of what's true, they can't do that.
I'm just really sorry to have contributed to something by adding science, literally unchallenged science. I mean, literally, we went out time and time again, and you guys haven't proven us wrong when we go do this laser stuff. You think you have.
I think I have.
Crazy thinking I can climb a mountain to compare things to the surface. But I mean, we got
shown that the and you agree with me on a lot of the parts that the FE Corps guys lied about their laser stuff. They did agree.
Absolutely full of shit. All of them. All of them.
So we know there's
lies. I'll tell you,
but therefore lies are not a good way of detecting Earth shape. They're a good way of detecting dishonesty.
I just worked with people that had no intention of dishonesty, and there's nothing on the cutting room floor, that we did to hide anything. Like we overachieved every time. So at some point, I'm thinking that in the formulas that he was talking about, what it is and what isn't in the formula. What if atmospheric lensing causes magnification? And even if it's only ×2, that would throw off all the math by either 0.5 or ×2. I'm not sure. But I'm sure the math is fucked by magnification because we're clearly seeing too far. We're clearly seeing beyond the conditions that you're going to claim. It must be refraction.
But why does so few people go up a mountain? Like above 100 meters, there are plenty of lakes above 100 meters. Why so few?
No, it's above surface, not above main sea level.
Nice try, that.
Oh, but I thought if you're at a mountaintop lake, you're still going to be at mountaintop pressure, right?
Yeah, there's nothing to do with that. It's about the heat exchange with the surface. So the elevation above sea level doesn't matter. There's a little bit less refraction as you go higher up in altitude, but
like Lake Titicaca, 3,000 meters. It's got to be so thin there anyway that the difference is minimal, and then you're still testing the curvature of water.
Yeah, but there will still be heat exchange between the water and the air.
But Ruhif, I have stuff showing you that on a calm night with a heated lake, so you have roughly equal temperatures of air and water, that we're going from 70 inches to 1 inch. And that's with incandescent light, not even with laser. In other words, you can see across 10 miles, I promise you. I can show you.
Yeah. You missed the conversation with Lanolin, where we talked about his measurements of the lapse rate. And the typical lapse rate is roughly 8 degrees per kilometer. His lapse rate had a margin of error of plus or minus 8,000 degrees.
What does that mean to me? What does that mean to me?
And his measurements of the surface and the air were meaningless.
Oh, all right. Well, what does that mean to me?
Get away from the surface.
Right. So you've got to get away from the surface. So that's difficult then, because if you're testing mountaintop to mountaintop, if I was a flat earther, I would say, but the altitude of the mountaintops is unknown, right? We can't be confident on those if they assume a curve.
No. Yeah, yes, we can. You can measure the elevation of mountains without, it's irrespective of the shape of the earth.
Oh, that's true. You can go to sea level and see how tall a mountain is and how far it is. Yeah, okay.
But what about the whole concept of looking for the deviation between the straight line and the earth? I mean, that's the whole force the line thing. It's always been the thing.
I still think look for spin. Spin is far easier to detect than all of this eyes and light and water. If gyros tell you you're spinning, you're spinning. If the only way to counteract a gyro spin is to spin it opposite at, westward around the same axis, the only way to cancel it out perfectly is to do exactly what the Earth's meant to be doing in reverse. Then I think you've made a very strong case that the Earth's doing that in forwards. That's the only thing that makes a gyro register 0. You've won. And a gyro mounted to an equatorial mount that tracks the stars will measure 0. That's how it does it. And then you've got a physical effect that you must feel, a torque that's applied to every object that if you're sensitive enough, you can detect it. It's physics.
Yeah. Foucault pendulum.
Like what is imparting a force on this? Did you hear though about the Foucault's pendulum? A little bit like this PBS thing we're talking about, because I don't want to go away from it because Dan's here. Is Foucault's pendulum was so difficult to set up that many of them were being set up in town squares and stuff with wind and whatnot, and the guy would just get it going and correct it.
Yeah. So I looked into the physics of the mechanism that propels it, and it's quite tricky, right? So as the big ball passes the center, there is a circular electromagnet that gets flicked on and off to apply a very quick force in the direction of the swing. It's
so that clever. Could easily be dialed in to get the right number.
The design of it, you could, but the way it was designed, it wouldn't. But yes, you could theoretically do it. You could give it a torque if you were clever enough and devious enough.
Well, just if you're a glober and you thought it should detect a torque and it doesn't, and you just keep twiddling with it until you give yourself a story as to what you're trying to help it detect.
I'll tell you who's done the best gyro videos is young Jesse Path of Light. Done some great gyro stuff.
Well, the reality is even though it's probably not a flat Earth, I could still challenge all you guys to just show that 8 inches. Show that 8 inch.
I showed it earlier. Yeah, you weren't here.
We've done it. So I did it over a valley, which is the way it probably should be done. I've also posted the elevation profile of the LIGO tube, which is.
You imagine those fuckers went to fucking Antarctica and didn't walk a mile away from each other and try and look at each other's feet? That was fucking retarded.
Dan, check out chat. I'm dropping, this is a 1 mile lake observation. I was showing on stream earlier. Catch you up.
A 1 mile.
Yep. 8 inch drop from vertical. From horizontal.
That's pretty good. Really no references there I have. Could you help me out?
Yeah, it was at Lake Pleasant. Yeah, it was you see the orange target measured at 61 inches above the water surface on both sides of the lake. He took the auto level from one side of the lake, pointed it to the other, and the horizontal line is representative of a 0 degree.
It's representative plane. At the point of attack where you're looking from. It's your point perspective, but it's not taking into consideration the perspective of real life. It's at a single point in this image. And it does. I mean, I've been through this a lot. I feel personally as an excuse.
You asked for it. I was just admitting it. We showed this earlier.
I'm just not sure that line in your marksman's view, in your crosshairs represents the perspective that a traveling line would have.
Tell you what,
I
let
know
me
what that
drop the
means.
source, take a look at it. We'll talk about it next time we're in one group together, or maybe even later. I'm probably gonna hop in a little bit, but it's only like a 3-minute video.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
I've posted mine in the chat years ago from California.
Oh, yesterday there was a new Jay Tolan video.
I saw.
Did you must have had a little wet
Did.
yourself a little bit when you saw that.
He's gone off the deep end a little bit, which is
I
pretty
didn't
funny.
watch it yet, but I can just imagine how. If I was tickled, you must have been tickled. Hey, I
What's
let you
happened?
down. I don't know. Supposedly he called NASA or something, complained. What did he do in it, Drew?
In the video, he uses photogrammetry software to try and estimate the curvature of the moon for the start. So he's already assuming the moon's a sphere and has a certain radius, blah blah blah, and that we went there and got footage from it, which I thought was pretty funny for flat earthers. And then he comes back and uses this photogrammetry software to try and estimate the curvature of the Earth. And he gets some radius of like 20,000 miles or some shit and goes, the Earth is flat. And I'm like, what? Yeah, it was bizarre. And apparently the software that he uses, you actually choose which ellipsoid for the Earth that you are using. So it's kind of like he's using globe software to force the globe. It was just all over the place.
So often it can be like, is this wrong or is this you testing it wrong?
Yeah.
Are you showing the Earth's false, or are you showing you about it testing it? Is debunks.
Well, that's Flurfs, right? Flurfs think they've discovered something that really smart people haven't.
Yeah, it looks like
today
the
is
best
laughing?
example of this is the videos of stars where they're just clearly not in focus, and you're like,
Yeah.
you cannot call this good data. Look at how they flicker and wibble. Yes, you're wobbling your camera, not focusing, fuck knuckle. Like, do not call this data.
There was a moment in time, the worst moment in time was when Mark Sargent suggested to people that they put flat earth in the names of their videos so he could find them, and that giant trees came up and had flat earth in the name.
Nice.
And everyone fell for it. And that was the defining moment for me of like downhill, like gaining super downhill momentum. It was like, we would have taken anything that was next and ran with it.
Yeah. Billow. How good was Billow?
Fucking pisses me off to this day.
What's Billo? What's Billo? That was some alien-looking guy, wasn't he?
Yes, that's gold. Oh, there we go. That's Northern Rebellion. I love you, Northern.
He's
fantastic. Good. Yeah. Oh, from that fucking quote unquote documentary, they had those alleged surveyors measuring places, I don't know, 300 kilometers apart using GPS. And I'm like, they just literally said, we measured it using GPS and it was flat. And I'm like, that's a lie. Like there's absolutely no way you can do that without lying.
Well, but I think people like, I think there are examples like the deleted frames, for example. What's his name? Deleted frames. Who's the guy that deleted frames out of the rocket crashing?
Flatsoid.
Yeah, Flatsoid.
Knowingly lying, right? I've deleted frames before. You know what you're doing when you do that. But then there is also a lot of like, I don't think he goes, haha, I know the Earth's a globe. I think he's like, that's not what I expected to see. It doesn't work with my narrative. I'm making a video. I've got to get it out tonight. I've already started recording. I'm just fucking deleting these frames. Like it's because as we've got example here with PBS, they are absolute globers. Dan was there. They lied. Oh, what were the other things they lied about, Dan?
I was not there when they did the PBS thing.
Mm-hmm. The Nat Geo one, right?
Yeah, and I wasn't there at the Nat Geo thing. But the point is, they lied about they omitted, Nat Geo omitted the balloon test, which was to double check the helicopter. And so we debunked it on the ground and they omitted it entirely. But the group, the blue shirt group didn't. In their own documentary, they still included it. Also, I'll start posting this stuff. The blue shirt guys, called the, I don't know, Insane International Group or whatever they're called, the IIG, CFI Investigative Group, whatever they're called, they're definitely claiming to have footage that they definitely don't. You know, I don't know why the lie. It doesn't make it a ton of sense to me.
Yeah. I couldn't get an answer. I'd go make some dinner. I'll be back later. See you later.
I think it'd be fun to do a stream on it and do a real call out. Absolutely call out PBS and have Glovers getting really angry and agreeing and going, oh yeah, they did totally lie.
Demog just wants a side view. That's all he wants.
Trying
Him
to
up.
find you this footage of them doubling down. They're doubling down. Let's see. I think there's a short or a clip. No, it's in my. Of course not. I can't believe. So Jaren does this talk with these guys. Here it is. And these fuckers, this guy in particular, the one guy from Nat Geo, they went, of course, that's due to the shape of the Earth. And I mean, he literally planted the narrative himself, and now he claims to have the footage, and there's just no way. Like I have the images of his camera, and you can't see that. Like, see if I can find. Yeah, here's his. This is right in his camera, and he says, "Oh yeah, we have the footage." He's blaming editing. He's saying they didn't show it, but everyone saw it. The stripes disappearing one at a time, and he's full of shit. And just so everyone knows, the whole big deal.
Do you think he knows he's full of shit?
No more than the flat earthers did.
Yeah, that's somewhat my feeling.
But that doesn't mean he has the proof that he says. And
Exactly. He thinks he does, though. That's what I think is interesting. You have two people looking at exactly the same thing, and with this, I'm absolutely on the flat earther side. I just don't know what. That they don't know what they've actually got, because if they did, they'd have to accept it's like nothing.
They got
but it feels.
So here's the whole thing. Here's the whole thing about the flag experiment. It's not about what they said. It's the setup to begin with. We would agree today, going back and doing it again, that it's a valid observation. The 1 foot observer and the 5 foot observer, meaning the guy in his belly, the guy with the tripod, should see something different on a globe. And the object, regardless of refractive conditions, as it moved away, should show the progressive drop of the globe. And none of that shit happened. And none of the observers saw what the narrative is that the stripes disappeared one at a time. So I love that there's still an argument, but the argument is against media. It's not, this is a winning round in the battle, for flat earthers, but the flat earthers lost the fight. I'm sorry. Winning this round didn't make the earth.
As globe, as Try Thinking might say, Dan the Waterman.
Well,
level.
Oh God.
That's the only word I've ever heard him say.
He's funny.
Well, because Bev's got a fun shtick. Because Bev's shtick is, he actually, if you listen to him, rarely ever says anything untrue.
I love that he plays both sides. He plays both sides so well, though. Like when I sit back, like people hate on him on both sides. I think he's kind of fun. I had an argument with him the other day, and he pissed me off, but still think he's kind of fun.
So I think
he plays it well.
Yeah,
I think where we go wrong as flat Earth argument, it's like it is level in two. At any point you measure it. What we need to talk about is the line between them, and I think it ends up in a relativity. I think relativity is a lot what flat earthers don't get.
I think we've got to get the globers to start basically stating that the sky is flat. They got to admit to that, and then we can, I don't know, progress maybe.
What do you mean the sky is flat? I don't get what that
Sky
means.
is flat, bro.
A coin is flat, but it's got 3 sides.
I just don't understand how something flat could surround you. It's always on every side of me.
No parallax, bro. The sky appears to be flat. You're in the conversation last night, and I said, go watch The Principle, and you hear all the astrophysicists basically state that the sky appears to be flat from a relativistic point of view.
It's all flat. The universe.
I don't know what that means. It appears to surround me like a sphere.
Because there's no
parallax.
Star
the stars are all
that's
flat.
nothing in your imagination, bro.
You've heard of flat brain,
the
right?
galaxy, it's all flat. They said it's all flat.
Is the ground surrounding you like the sky surrounding you, eggshells?
No, the ground's under me. The ground goes up and down all around. But what I'm saying is, when I see the stars and I see the sky and I see the sun every day, all of them are describing circular paths with center to them, center to that circle.
I mean, mostly
and that makes it feel me like I'm being surrounded. I can show you what being next to something flat is like, and things disappear way off into the distance. And they don't go in perfectly circular paths. They go in kind of, even if they're moving in cycles, they'll go in loopy paths where they get further and closer, where these all seem to just stay exactly the same orientation and go round me like they're in a sphere.
Dude,
nothing about my existence
says. Astrophysicists use this terminology, right? The sky appears to be flat. And I think, from what I understand, right, I don't know the full depth of this, the astrophysicists, go watch The Principle, or actually go look at all the people that show up in the documentary of The Principle, and you'll have an idea of the who. there's a couple of big names like Lawrence Krauss is in there as one, right? And this is the axis, the observation called the axis of evil. Now, what would you call it? I think that they state that because there's no parallax of the stars, essentially. That's what it appears from a relativistic point of view, using the theory of relativity as set forth by Einstein. The sky has to sort of appear to be flat if you are to be making the suggestion that the ground is curving, and the reason for the how do I state this? The reason there's no parallax observed in the stars is because of the relationship between the observer on the ground and, actually, it's a relationship between the sky and the ground at that point. You've got a curve.
I don't get who's.
That's what the flat Earth.
I don't get who's arguing that.
The sky curves. That's it.
Am I meant to be arguing that, or is that your position?
I suggest that the sky is curving, right?
Yeah, it is.
Refraction.
I agree.
We know light bends into the medium and the field, right? But essentially, globers must from what I understand, I think you got to deal with the notion that the sky is flat in your model.
I don't think it's flat though. Why would I have to deal with
you
something I think
tell me
is
what the astrophysicists are saying, dude. That's what they're saying. Stop.
Which astrophysicists? Are they here in the room?
Lawrence
Can't
Krauss.
argue with them via you.
Axis of evil is the observation. You think you're living on a globe. You're adopting their model, and then when it comes to this interpretation,
you're adopting my model. True. Why do they have any ownership over my model? I allowed them to speak on it, and they might speak wrong, but I won't argue with them via another person who disagrees with them.
It's their model that they injected into your head as a little kid, man. Don't argue with me about it.
Apparently I'm arguing with Lawrence Krauss via you.
Apparently you independently verified the globe for yourself.
I didn't say that. I don't think. Do you think that?
Well, wouldn't that be that you're saying it's a globe because you don't trust? You say you don't need to trust the astrophysicists because you believe it's a globe, and then I ask you, did you verify it for yourself? And you say, oh, I didn't say that. So what do you do? You're having it both ways.
But I didn't say any of those. You made all those up. I didn't say that. Did I? What did I say? What did I say? It gave you the impression that I disagree with astrophysics?
Hey, how about the fact
I'm surprised when they're wrong, but we're coming off the back of a conversation where
how about the fact
we're agreeing.
Last night, you were telling me as a flat earther, I have to agree that pi equals 2. You are forcing that upon me, right? You're saying it has to. You have to believe this.
It's not because
right?
I'll say why.
I'm doing the same to you now. Thank you.
But I can show you why. Because in the one hand, it is a mathematical necessity. On the other hand, you're just saying this guy said this thing. I think other people can be wrong. Same as you would agree flat earthers can be wrong. I think
the sky appears to be flat.
I'm not required to agree with what other people. Let me finish. I'm not required to agree with what other flat earthers, what other globers say, but I am required to adhere to math. So if you can show me my position is incoherent mathematically, that's very different than Lawrence Krauss disagrees with you if you ask me what he says. I don't think we would disagree. I think if Lawrence Krauss and I sat down, he would absolutely 100% agree with me. Explain the nuance with which he meant the sky appears flat. What if we're saying, do the stars appear to go? Does everything appear to go around you in a circle when they're in the sky? Yes, absolutely. We can find the center of the circle. We know where it is.
Agree
We've got an
sky
equator.
is going around you now. You recognize that the globe is supposed to be that you're on the surface of the object that's rotating. Not that the sky is moving. You're the one moving.
But either one, it's in a circle. Doesn't matter where the circle's coming from or going to.
It does because one we've got to you either got the skies flat or the earth is curving, or the earth is curving and the sky is flat.
Nonsense. That's ridiculous. That's nonsense.
Because when you look at
the shape of one object doesn't change the shape of anything else. Both could be curved. That's the globe model. Is that they're both curved.
Means flat. Okay, so I'm just going to stop saying flat because it sounds like it just offends your senses. Okay, I'm going to say no parallax. Right?
Parallax between what? What do you mean by the parallax?
One star and another star, no parallax.
Sure, fine. Not bothered by that one.
Yes, exactly. That's what it means. It means that field of view, if you're on a globe, the way it's coming into our perception, because there is no parallax, you sort of. I said I wouldn't say the word again, but fuck it. It appears to be flat. It's by appearance. I'm not saying it actually is. I'm just saying that.
What do you mean? How does parallax?
The actual observation is that it's flat.
How is parallax flat? I don't get that. What is parallax? Is whether we in the foreground, regardless of surface shape, moving left or right. That's my view anyway.
Lack of parallax implies that there's no, obviously no. All the stars are on a backdrop. They basically stay in their position permanently, and they do not bend and warp respective to one another. Right? They don't get a little bit closer. They don't get further away. Right? So you can actually ascribe that a flatness to it because it's not. It doesn't appear to us as a dimensional. like space that you can crawl through, right? It doesn't present itself because they're point sources of light that are so far away, right, that they appear to be flat. That's essentially the description.
Oh, that's not how I describe it. If that's how you're choosing to describe it, then we can deal with the fact that you're saying that. But that's not what I'm saying. Is it I'm meant to say that, or your position is that?
That's the apparentness of it from your earthly position when you look
From
up.
who? Your position?
Okay, well, how would you describe it?
Sky is flat?
How would you describe it?
It appears through the center. It appears as it would if we're in the middle of a massive expanse, such that it's like we're in the center of a sphere. It's infinite radius is the best way to describe it. We can map it perfectly.
You literally took that straight out of your bloody grade 3 textbook, and you're saying, "Oh, well, they didn't tell me what to think." Like, it's
what do you mean? I just told you what I think. I don't remember a grade 3 textbook.
Yeah, don't remember because it's ingrained so much. You think it's your opinion and your idea now. That's the nature of psychology. I don't mean to be necessarily combative. I know I am being a little bit, but like when I say that the sky's flat and you're offended by that notion, and I got that terminology from an astrophysicist that uses your globe model to explain the our relative understanding and observation and relationship between the sky and the ground. The fact that you don't like that terminology is just it's a kind of, what do they call that? It's just you're disagreeing with words and the definition of like the meaning of the word or something. It's just not a matter. Sky's flat. How about that?
Can we hear from Demok asking for a friend?
Sorry, I missed the start of that.
No, I said, can we hear from Demok asking for a friend? He's there he is.
He's been unleashed. I don't know if anyone else wants to jump in. Go ahead. I'm gonna go on a little skateboard trip.
All right, later, bro.
I'll be listening in. You're looking up the principal eggshells.
That was with geocentric. What's his face? I know what you're talking about. I heard you mention it earlier.
Who? Lawrence Krauss?
No, not Lawrence Krauss. Was it the principal? What's his face? He argues for the geocentric globe Earth, like we're at the center of the universe.
Is it Brenner?
No.
That is the kind of, when the axis of evil is principle, like it appears like the world, like we are at the center of that world.
Robertson Genis.
Sungenis. That's right. That's right. Thank you.
I think I've heard that name before, but I'm not totally familiar with it.
For some reason, I thought that was his film.
The observation is called The Axis of Evil. You can find as much information as you'd like about that. I'm kind of surprised we actually don't talk about it a little bit more often, but I don't know. Depends who's in the room.
Probably because it requires the Earth to be a sphere first.
Right.
It could be interpreted that the Earth is a sphere. Yeah, definitely. But as soon as you introduce your relativist interpretation, then you can bend and warp the sky, or you can bend and warp the ground, and they're just choosing to bend and warp the ground as well.
To make the axis of evil argument, the Earth must be a sphere. Right? You're talking about the cosmic microwave background radiation, which has this quadrupole in it. Right? Poles of what?
It's because
things in opposite directions.
Electro background radiation is essentially a sphere, and the axis of evil, as it's comically called, is in alignment with our own solar system, and Earth is tilted 23 degrees to that solar system.
You flat skyer. You're all flat skyers, okay? Just remember that.
Well, that's like saying the middle of a basketball is flat. That's essentially all the symmetry
you
of
admit your flat skyness.
Radiation.
If you concede you're a flat skyer. That's brilliant.
The axis is flat doesn't mean the entire sky is flat.
I don't know what that means. The axis is flat. What does that mean?
You can't have an axis with a flat plane. Right? The axis is 2 points passing through the Earth. I'll post an image. Hold on, 1 sec.
Don't know what you mean. You can when you call it like a traversion of the globe. When you traverse the globe, you basically say that the plane's traveling in a straight line. Over the curved surface. So I don't know, guys. Like apparently, what I'm describing is so far out that you guys are happy to say that you fly in a flat line, straight line from one place to another across the globe.
Right. So that those images are posted. Those poles are opposite each other. Right. Those are spherical, flattened out spheres. Those images, right, and the poles are opposite each other, which you can't have on a flat Earth. Like, how do you have two poles?
You have two rotational fields in the sky above a flat plane. You think you can't do that?
The data, that you're referencing has like a blank spot here and some other spot exactly 180 degrees opposed to it.
What's a blank spot here?
Well, whatever variations in the CMB. They're in opposite directions.
Variations is in there's a diversity of aspects to the sky. I don't know what do you mean?
Variations in the CMB.
What are the variations? What's the characterize the variations that you're referring to?
Temperature, temperature.
You think that the temperature of the sky, like just because there's a different temperature in the sky, you're saying that has to be a globe? That your claim?
To make the argument about the axis of evil, right? It's necessarily the case that you're making the argument that one point on the CMB, right, there's a pole, right, to another point that is 180 degrees opposite, right? Different directions. One point that way and then point the other way.
How are you establishing direction?
That is the axis of evil argument.
No, I'm just trying to work out how, when you say that, like, it's all, was it? I mean, I'm just trying to, are you establishing direction based on a compass?
No, it's right ascension and declination.
Oh, I've heard that term bandied around. I don't know what that necessarily means though.
Latitude and longitude of the sky.
Okay. So basically implying that you can use the sky to navigate, presuming you know or understand like where the stars are in their positions. You're not using some sort of like tool, like directly like a compass right in your hand that's telling you what the direction is or pointing in the direction. You kind of have to, it's kind of using the Southern Cross, I suppose.
The CMB, right? They point telescopes in all directions in a sphere, right? As soon as you acknowledge that there is a sphere around us and we can point in all directions, a sphere or a hemisphere?
No, the sky, like the sky is spherical. I agree. You asked me to point out where the sphere is. You told me it's the ground. I say it's the sky.
So there is something below our feet, right, that other people can see?
Dude, one of them's flat, one of them's curved. You're just basically stating that the ground is curving.
You're saying the ground is flat, right? But if the stars are in a sphere around us, right, then there is some star below my feet that someone else can see right now.
Or you're just in a different location on the Earth and that star's too far away such as you can't see it and you're just wrapping that around in your imagination.
Oh, this is so...
I think that I don't understand the globe model, man. Like, kind of funny.
Hey, Rue,
It has to be a sphere. Like, okay. Yeah, jump in, bro. Go ahead, Dan.
Let me challenge us on something that we haven't. It's a good challenge. It's relatively new and old. I'm going to post a link now to, I think it was some 30 years ago, there used to be a live shot of Earth. And that lack of information, like the flat earthers build on that so much. So I'm just going to ask your opinion, Ruhiv. Why don't you think there's images of Earth to settle us down? In other words, it's not crazy to think that there should be a live shot of Earth. In this shot, it was pay-per-view. You say there is. Of course, if you linked it, I might believe you.
Sure. Let me post it 1 sec.
Is it going to be the 10-second delay stills frames?
No, it'll be Sen's 4K live stream of the Earth. It's currently nighttime for the ISS, but you know, and I think they have about 20 hours a day of 4K.
Of course, you could watch what I posted and understand I meant in its entirety. Okay, I'm sorry.
All right.
And of course, I meant live. And of course, it's not crazy to ask. It doesn't make us a crazy flat earther to ask to view where we live in real time. When they did pay-per-view, oddly enough, people kept reporting UFOs. That UFO was the moon in the shot. And surprisingly, we see it here briefly. We see it in Elon Musk's shot for a minute. And there's one other time when you could see, two other times when you could see the Earth Moon together. But the idea that we just don't see home is questionable still. You know, that it's just not shown as if it were impossible, and it's not. The Earth and Moon together would be totally interesting to see, right? All the time. The Earth would be totally interesting to see. We could watch weather.
You see the moonrise on the ISS pretty frequently?
You're confusing the locality of and height versus the sphere, because I'd like to see the spherity, right? The entirety.
So further away?
It's 22,000 miles away.
Cool. And you're not
there's
happy
lots
with
of stuff
like
out there.
10
There's
minutes
lots of stuff out there. It's not like you can't go there, and it's not like there wouldn't be camera, and it's not
but
like
you're not happy with Himawari and those sort of things, right?
Well, I'm asking for a live shot that we could go check right now. Live shot.
Yeah, and then you want it in 4K, right?
No, you're just trying to belittle a strong point that there is missing data from our proof of the globe that could be easily substantiated by something that evidently a private company was able to do 30 years ago. But NASA don't bother.
Currently, there's a 4.5 minute signal loss, and then they'll regain signal, but it's live.
It's a few seconds behind,
What is?
The ISS
Send live stream.
Which one?
The one I linked to in the chat. It's
Ben, sorry,
It's like 4 or 5 seconds behind. Yeah.
Now, let me ask you about
Wait a
this.
minute.
If you're
The one from the ISS? Are you
you're
goofing on me?
one sec.
You're
You see
goofing
what-
on me. You
wait a
guys
sec,
I'm
Dan.
not a fucking idiot.
Yeah, okay, you can tell us that in a sec. Ruhif, where it says signal loss and it's counting down from 4 minutes, 3 minutes 59. Is it just out of range, like for 4 more minutes? Is that what it's telling us?
It relays to satellites that are also orbiting, the TRDS, I think it's called, something like that.
Listen,
so it can predict when it's in tracking and data relay TDRS system. TDRS.
So
there you go.
Gotcha.
This is the part where they pretend there's no infrared photography, and they don't show us the sky at all. They don't look up, they don't look down, they look forward, they look back. It's fucking ridiculous what you're showing me now. There's a blank screen. Is your fucking proof? Thanks, Ru.
It's nighttime.
It's
nighttime.
fucking called infrared light. Jesus Christ, you can look up or down. You don't have to show me garbage or pretend it's blacked out. I'm fucking paying for this. And then your excuses don't fucking help. So I like you. I'm presenting this shit to you because I like you and you could give me a decent answer, not a bullshit argument.
Is it your contention that the ISS isn't real?
Hang on, it's about to go over San Francisco, I think.
Is robbing us
Or Vancouver.
of the full spectrum of what's available to us. As in the shuttle program in the open bay, there was actual space as it appears, regardless of day or night, right? Or whatever the fuck.
It's about to go over San Francisco.
Oh my God. So
Actually,
you're just going to power forward, right? You're going to power forward with whatever the fuck you're saying about the ISS.
Complained about a dark screen.
I'm not talking.
Right?
You know I'm not talking about the ISS. And when I do talk about the ISS, you're now ignoring the fact that they could show us up and down. They could show us the Earth and they could show us the sky. And the excuse that it's nighttime is bullshit, because you want to know a secret, Ruhif?
Yeah.
It's always daytime in space. So
well, sunrise is in 19 minutes and 48 seconds.
Yeah.
It's got to count down.
We might be a little bit further north of Vancouver. It'll be close to Vancouver. Maybe you'll get Vancouver.
I trust you not to give me line of shit, though. I hate that. I hate when you drop off because you have so much credibility in my eyes and you fill me full of shit, and it's bullshit. It's Glober bullshit.
Yeah.
I'd like to see you as a person, and I'd like to be more than a flat earther to you. So I just wish you'd step up when I present something and say, hey, why don't you think they just don't show us Earth? You're like, oh, they do. And it's like, no, they don't.
Oh, we're going to get Vancouver?
So you're just going to fucking ignore me. Thanks, Ru.
No, I'm not. I'm just, it's about to go. I don't think it's a tiny bit north of Vancouver.
So what about infrared? Are you aware? I can show you hundreds of video of what the sky looks like in the infrared and ultraviolet spectrum. Yes, you're totally aware of it. So why do you think they don't bother, let's say, panning, zooming, showing us the sun, showing us the moon, showing us anything that goes on, any rocket launches, fucking anything live? No, they don't, dude. I'm not a fucking idiot.
They do send post interesting clips on their website. God, they did the I think it was fireworks over Spain the other day.
So when I start showing all the post-production from Ricardo Rossi, which is what you're talking about, post-production time lapse, right? That's what you're talking about.
You can record it live, Dan, if you want. You can scroll back.
When I say live, I mean live. When I say infrared, ultraviolet, I fucking mean it.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're mumbling about.
That was a great shot there.
No, that's replay.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Who needs live, right? What bullshit.
Well, they're not in contact with the satellite currently. Oh, yeah, they're back. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, they were showing the replay, but now it says another 2 minutes and 12 seconds. They must be scrambling to preserve the evidence, right?
Something. Yeah.
So there's 5 cameras, right? There's forward, there's backwards, there's up, there's down, and there's the one at the end of the boom, right?
I don't think there's for the Sen. I think they have 3 cameras.
Fuck what you think.
I'm pretty sure Sen have 3 cameras.
Right? And in 2000, God, fuck what you think, really.
There we
In
go.
2021, they added an infrared weather thing on the bottom called Piano, right? But the fact is that during the shuttle program, they had live open bay stuff, and there was a lot to see, a lot of anomalies, a lot of interesting things. And they don't bother showing that today. They show you black. And that is fucked up
Well,
because they
you
don't
got
have to do that.
you got to grant that they're in nighttime, bro.
TDRS satellites.
Who's going to
Should I
try
map
this
those
nighttime
satellites
story
and
again?
predict-
It's not nighttime. It's daytime in space, period.
They go behind the Earth, and
Don't be so silly, Dan.
I'm not being silly. I'm being real. This is Ruhif who wants me to get off the surface to measure shit, and I'm talking about being off the surface, and he's putting me back at the fucking height of the ISS. The ISS is low. That's why you can only see, say it, how much percent of the Earth? Say it, Rue. And when they do spacewalks and it looks like there's the entirety of the Earth, that is fisheye stuff. It's not trickery. It's just fisheye stuff that we called trickery, right? But you can't see the entirety of the Earth till you're back far enough away.
Well, you never see the entirety of the Earth.
Oh,
You're just seeing closer and closer to 50%.
I'm sorry. The circle of the Earth. It's cool.
Yeah, I think I get what you mean. Where like the extremity of what you see is like the geographic limits of it, rather than just the distance to the horizon.
No, what I posted is there used to be a live view. There used to be a private company who bothered, knowing that they were up there doing TV stuff, to go, wow, we should just show people the Earth.
Well, this is 25 seconds off. That's close enough to live, right?
That's
I think
not
so.
what they say. They'll start talking about frame rate. I'm not sure what you're watching. You guys keep referring to something.
I'll reping it. Hold on. It's the one that Ruhif dropped at 35 after the hour. It says watch Earth live 4K, big graphic, globe in the background.
The one to diffuse what I posted that nobody talked about?
I don't think it was to diffuse. I think it was sort of a simultaneous drop.
No, it was to diffuse. Because of course he didn't. He still won't talk about it.
I watched what you showed.
22,000 miles. I didn't know.
I watched what you showed. I saw the Earth and the moon had the same exact.
Isn't it rare? Isn't it weird? Isn't it weird how rare it is to see that?
Possibly, but I mean they had what they were expected to have in terms of the light from the sun, right? They had the same pattern.
I don't know.
I didn't understand what was going on at the very end, where it looked like there were like light panels behind some stage or something. I watched the whole thing.
The point is that it's all there. There's nothing left. Nobody recorded any of it. It's weird. You can't find any of it, any footage of it.
Wait, did you watch the whole thing that you sent? Because at the end, it looked like they were showing that Earth was actually on a stage. Or did you just?
Earth was on a stage.
Yeah, watch it. Watch the entire thing. You sent it. I thought you watched it. Yeah, look towards the end. You'll see it.
Why would the Earth be on a stage?
That's a good question. That's why I wasn't quite sure if you were saying they filmed this on a stage or.
No, I'm saying that NASA and Globers don't bother showing us the globe. They don't bother when it's totally possible.
How good are Super 8s?
All right, I gotta watch that.
This is somebody shooting a TV set. So you're seeing a reflection of their screen, of themselves in the screen.
Okay, gotcha.
It's weird that there's no recordings of it. You can't find shit. And I can't find shit. You know, like not only is there no live Earth now, there are recordings from when there was.
except for the one that we're watching live right now. Aside from that, I'm sure there's others, but.
Well, I'm trying to tell you that I am
Here, I'll drop
showing you how rare it is to actually see the Earth and the Earth-Moon system in action. And the other time we saw the moon was during the Tesla launch of Musk, the Starman. The moon went by, and there's 2 other times that I've seen the moon and the Earth together, but it's fucking rare, surprisingly rare.
Have you ever seen the moon during the daytime though, Dan? Like it happened the other day. When you take a tennis ball and you look and you see what the sun's doing to the tennis ball in conjunction with the moon. If you ever find,
what does it mean to you? Angles of light are impressive.
If you ever find that the angle of the light is different, I'll be a flat earther.
I don't think anything I'm saying here is going to make anyone a flat earther. What I'm asking for is why, when there's so many obvious ways to show the things that are supposedly out there, why don't they?
I think if you want my answer, Dan, is I think they do. I think there are countless examples of them. What you might be doing, just asking for ones that aren't there and going, it's sus that this one isn't there, that one isn't there, rather than when that might not be the best indicator of.
Okay, so here's the point. There's a shitload of there's a shitload of satellites out there, and there's a shitload of technology out, and no one thinks it's interesting that we can't see the Earth. Nobody thinks it's interesting that we're not.
But we can. We've got Himawari. Like you're that's my point. If we could see the Earth at all, absolutely as hell. I'll claim they've been up there for years. Why don't we get any shots? You won't accept Himawari. You won't accept the ISS live streams. You will specifically look for one that's not there, and then be like, "Hey, the absence of this one is."
I'm absolutely making the requirement, proving in the video the possibility of a live shot of Earth. Now, I'm not exaggerating the way you just did about having crazy demands. I'm just acknowledging the possibility. Acknowledging the possibility of a live shot of Earth, noting the rarity of such. Be honest.
But is it rare? Like, I think Himawari's done this for decades now.
But it's not a live shot.
Minute by minute or every 4 minutes or something.
It's I'm going to go.
Extraordinarily high resolution.
I like
image
you too much as well to pull this bullshit. You know I'm saying live. You know I mean real time, and you don't need to dissect it any further. Just tell me to fuck off, because you're not listening to what I'm saying.
Are you watching live chat? Yeah, 25 seconds. I've been posting them every time you say the word Earth. I Control-C, Control-V. Yeah.
I don't
know. So is 25 seconds not live stream enough?
You're fucking entertaining, right? But it doesn't mean shit to me. You're talking about a delay, and I'm talking about live. And I guess I'd like to know what you're watching. 35 after the hour.
That's right.
It's got a
50
past got a sphere and it says
52 past the hour.
Watch Earth live 4K.
Clouds in exactly the right spots that must match what they look like from behind, but be independent. So they're the same, silhouette, but the top of the cloud, the human below it doesn't know. So clouds at every altitude must be correct from above.
So it's about to open. I'm not going to be impressed, and when I do, I'm going to go back.
Exactly. You're not going to be impressed before you say it.
I'm going to go backwards.
You only look at ones where it's up.
Why show a black sky? In other words, this is the downward cam. They don't use it that much. Now at night, they do this, they show this, and you don't see anything. So my question is, why don't they show the sky at night when you're claiming it's nighttime? This must be the same cam that you were looking at before. So
daytime, nighttime.
My claim is, why not look up instead of looking at a black screen? The joy, the vastness of space, the idea that they're up there. Wouldn't that be fucking interesting?
That's why we've got Hubble. We've got a different tool for that job. You're looking at the one that doesn't show the sky, that's specifically to show the ground, and you're like...
Don't fuck with me. Hubble looks far away. I'm asking to look at the local sky. I'm asking to look at the activity in the local sky, because you could see it during the entire shuttle program. You're not fucking listening. You're fucking being a glober, and I fucking hate it. I know you better than this. I like you better than this, and it's bullshit that you're doing this to me. I present real fucking conversations, and you're fucking just going, something else. What the fuck?
But you're still doing exactly the thing that I said might be the case. You're specifically looking for bits that aren't there and pushing away quintillions of pixels, just absolutely extraordinary numbers of pixels of things that we do have, and going, isn't it weird? There's this bizarre niche example I can find that we don't.
What's missing is real time. What's missing is the ultraviolet and infrared, what they call full spectrum. That's what's missing.
Yeah. So
what's also missing? Wait, what's also missing? Pan, tilt, zoom, and coordination with any other space activity or objects. There's not the only. I'm not just fucking cherry picking one thing. There's a whole bunch of shit they're not showing us, including every fucking rocket launch. I'm not saying cherry
picking, bro. I'm saying you're picking things that aren't there. No, you're looking for absence of evidence.
Jesus, I'm done. I made a great point, and you're just like, yeah, dude, you're asking stuff. Okay.
They're 5 minutes away from the tip of Africa there. You'll be able to see, or the tip of South America and Africa. But
point I'm making,
Enjoy your limited data. Enjoy
using
your
there.
limited data. Enjoy your vastly limited data and your missing data points. Tell me all about your missing data points while you're watching Black.
You're missing data points.
Right?
I've got videos. You're looking for the videos that aren't there rather than finding the videos that are there and do show flat.
Why are we looking at a black screen? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah,
when
exactly. That's
Bringing
my
up,
why are
when
you
you're
looking at a
bringing
black
up
screen?
the live thing that isn't showing Earth in its entirety or the circle of the Earth, because you corrected me. You can't see entirety. This is bullshit. You're gonna correct me on everything I say. You're well versed. I like you too much to argue with you when you're gonna pick on words when I'm making good points. I've made my point. Nice talking to you. I'm not gonna fucking lose my fucking mind on this thing.